to COVID scare.
Yes, this is the baseball situation that we're discussing that came out today. The Yankees had three players test positive, and then I believe another three are in COVID protocol, so they're being waited. One of the three waiting on the results is Aaron Judge, who of course took place in the well, he was front and center with Freddie Freeman bringing in Henry Aaron's wife and everything is in COVID protocol. So you just hope,
Yeah,
Mrs. Aaron is going to be okay. But
I will say, Brian Cashman, the Yankees GM, said that most players are vaccinated, including the players that tested positive,
mhm.
including the All-Star players. So I believe that Aaron Judge was vaccinated. So hopefully,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been. The part that I've read that confuses me the most is Jonathan Loaizaga, who is a reliever for the Yankees, tested positive when they played Houston before the All-Star break. So he's been in Houston in his hotel room under quarantine this entire time. Why has that information not been made public before today? If a team member of an All-Star tested positive for COVID, maybe we shouldn't let that All-Star go play in the All-Star game and spread that shit even more. So now he's putting everyone at risk. And like I said, Aaron Judge was front and center for that presentation they put on before the game. Um, yeah, he's vaccinated, but still, he can still spread it, right?
yeah, totally, yeah,
And
no,
so
that's what we've
that
learned.
was the confusing part for me. Like, obviously, COVID's still very prevalent around the world. The U.S. is handling it somewhat well. If you're, depends on what part of the country you're in. But it's just confusing. I'm like, hey, man, you got a teammate that tested positive. Maybe don't go, spend more time with random guys you rarely ever see in a confined space.
It is definitely it's really so. This is like, I guess my whole take on this is like really kind of complicated because the MLB, and I don't know, because they haven't said, but 23 MLB teams are now at the 85% threshold of a team getting vaxxed,
Mm-hmm.
and then they have looser protocols.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that has something to do with the fact that Aaron Judge could go to the All-Star game, that they didn't have to mention things. It's a weird thing because we're like in America for the most part, except if you're like in the SEC region of the country. I think everybody is like as
If you
close
can
to
get
vax.
Paul Feinbaum's show on radio, you're
Yeah,
probably not in a great area.
yeah. If you can get AM Paul Feinbaum, then yeah, you're not vaxxed. And to the point, like there's also some of that in the baseball world, right? Like a lot of Latin players
Mm-hmm.
are who play professional don't trust the vaccinations from other countries, and
Yeah.
and to be frank, they don't trust their government. So it's like, and then you add that with like a decent portion of the professional baseball league believes Antifa exists. So it's like this like weird, like complicated
Yeah.
situation where it's like you need 85%. And I don't know if this is just part of, like, as we see in Team USA with Bradley Beal and Jeremy Grant. It's like, those, I believe both of those players are vaxxed too. So I think it's like one of those things. It's like, it might just be part of the part of the existence of,
Yeah.
cohabitating with a pandemic or with a virus as we are ending a pandemic.
Yeah. Luckily, I think only one player has been symptomatic, the rest asymptomatic. But um, I think we are starting to realize, hey, maybe we're not invincible with a vaccine. Like I mentioned, this is still prevalent out there. I think it was today or yesterday, LA County, it was just like, hey, we're going to go back
To
uh,
masks
to mask
indoors.
indoors,
Yeah.
which, LA, Southern California in general is a very big tourist spot. So it's most likely that's kind of where it's coming from. But still, we gotta learn from these mistakes. Obviously, we hope the Yankees are okay, all those players are okay, but they canceled today's game, and then most likely tomorrow's is gonna be postponed as well. And then
John, I guarantee you there are Yankee fans who are like, you know what? I'm fucking glad they fucking canceled the game because we were gonna get our fucking asses whooped anyways.
by
Down
the Red
eight
Sox, right?
games. Yeah, they're
Um,
playing the Red Sox. They were gonna get fucking owned.
yeah, Marley Rivera, who's a reporter for ESPN, focuses on the Yankees specifically. She tweeted out earlier this afternoon. She's like, Rafael Devers just told me that he was asked not to do interviews pregame because one of the Yankees who went to the All-Star game tested positive. Devers said that he is going to undergo testing this afternoon.
There you go. I thought you were going to say Yankees fans rejoiced in the streets as they didn't have to play the Red Sox and get swept
Yeah.
again. Could you imagine if the Yankees got swept again for the third time in a row? Could you imagine the shitstorm?
COVID's the least of their concerns if that's the case.
Yeah, they would all drive to the city of Boston. I think they would just Yankee fans from the Rocks would be like, just step outside, all yous. Just come out here.
Let's just get this over with.
I'm gonna fight you.
It's just a big fucking clusterfuck. So we'll see how baseball handles this. Hopefully, no one else in the All-Star game or All-Star team tests positive. Like I think we were texting earlier, it could be a super spreader event in the AL locker room. And so, like I said, I hope there's no one else really affected by this, but we'll see.